I feel you. I've like learned how to like basically turn like a 30 to 40 minute smoke session to like low key 4 to 8 minutes by wax. You know, just saying taking a dab and shit like that. But
Right.
sometimes like that strain, man. Like I be taking involuntary naps sometimes. Like I be like, oh shit, it is 8:45. I need two coffees. Like it is
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
and I'm like, I don't need all this. But I do feel you though. Like the weed consumption has definitely gone down, and definitely just me having fun and like on the weekends and shit like that. Like I didn't have so many people get butt hurt being like, oh, you think you too busy for me? You think you better than me? I'm like, man, I got like dreams and aspirations. Like, you know, say like, ain't nobody working for my business but me. Like,
Right.
so
Right.
like, we gotta keep going. Like,
Right.
it is what it is. But we didn't kind of like jumped in. I'm Silk Sway. Welcome to the Owner's Manual, and we got some pretty dope guests today. And say one of them we go way back, but
Hell yeah.
starting down the road, just tell us who you are and what you rep.
Um, Malik, you know me. We go back. And rapping Hemp for Humanity. You know what I'm saying? Just graduated college and did my thing up there, but now getting out here into the workforce. You feel me? Uh, met my best friends right here, and you know, out here doing it with them now.
That's cool.
Heck yeah, I'm Cody. Out here with H4H. Obviously, that's our baby. We been on this for 2-3 years now. Definitely ready for things to take off.
Yep, I'm Tyler. I'm repping H4H2, and yeah, just touch on Cody. I think we've been doing it for 2-3 years, but we've been planning and aspiring it for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Just talking about it every single day.
Yes, sir.
I definitely like feel you on the time frame of just like getting shit started. Like the 2 to 3 year time frame is kind of when I like really saw the true like opportunity just in cannabis and kind of like jumped in, but at like the legislative level. But I didn't really get that real like opportunity, like that foot in the door, like that blueprint and what it really took and knew what it really meant. But what was it like starting a business from what it sounds like during the pandemic? You know what I'm saying? Like, how was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we didn't. I feel like we didn't get affected by it too much because at that point, we're in a seasonal business.
Mhm.
So now we're getting into actual outdoor agriculture. So, I think it was, when the pandemic hit, it was 2020. We were just
Yeah.
graduating school, and so that was right when we were really getting into it. And so that gave us that whole summer. And then, the way we're doing things, we're taking it all the way from seed to retail. So
Mhm.
that gave us that whole summer. And then for the whole winter and the fall, we were formulating product. We were working on recipes, doing a little R&D stuff. So it really kind of worked out well. Like as soon as we started selling, which was really just 2 months ago,
Okay.
the product that we had started in 2020, that summer. So yeah, we didn't see too much of an effect. Plus, we're all direct to consumer right now,
Mhm.
all online sales, and I think that's really important for us too, just to keep that margin, especially bringing the retail margin back to the farm.
Mhm.
So that was super important for us as well.
Got you. Cool. Yeah. Sounds like everybody was sick down bad. Y'all was still moving and rocking, and uh, that's cool that it didn't really affect you too much. But kind of like to backtrack, where is H4H located? Like where you guys operate at?
Yeah, we're right outside, right south of Three Rivers, so
Okay,
White
Three
Ridge in
Rivers.
Michigan. Yep, right down 131, like 5 minutes from the state line.
Where did you come up with Hemp for Humanity? How did that blossom?
Yeah, so I studied in school biochemistry,
Okay.
environmental science, and
Oh, you the dudes I would have cheated off of. I would have smoked you down and cheated off you so quick.
yeah, and then yeah, so I was getting into some more like biopolymer stuff, like biodegradable plastics. That's what my senior research was on, and that's how I really found out about hemp, was
Okay.
how it could be used in plastics. And after that, it was a rabbit hole. So started getting into the building materials and all the things that this plant could really do. And that's when I was calling Ty. And I think you might have been out of the country on a trip or something.
Yeah, I don't know where it was. Either Southeast Asia or Peru. I think it was Peru.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just told him about this plant, like how insane it was, how good for the environment it was, how many uses it could have. And, I mean, we've been boys since day one. So he was like, bro, let's fucking go. Let's do it. And yeah, from there, we just started building out the plan, and it really started with the purpose first.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, our main concern in the beginning was to start building communities out of hempcrete that were sustainably produced and would be sustainable in the long run as well. And so it was all, that's still our main goal today, is to get those communities built out of hempcrete for those that are disadvantaged or don't
Mm-hmm.
have the opportunity for those things that we consider, basic human rights, your food, shelter, energy, That's something that this plant can really take care of.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, what was the business in Peru like? Was you getting it done, or was it all pleasure? Like, so you a traveler?
Pleasure. Yep. I was just backpacking with a few buddies, and Cody and I were tight from high school, but we had a big group, and we're the only two that really seemed to stick through. And so we would just call and touch bases really like almost every day. And then, well, it was probably, every few days. And then once he hit me with this and he just woke me up. I really didn't even know that much about hemp either. And, I was so dove into the cannabis, the whole industry, but I had no real idea on hemp. And we both kind of have the same passion, in a little different ways, but it comes down to the same roots. And he was just preaching to me about, the environmental things it can do, the things it can do for the people, how efficient, and all that. And then I just saw how we both could touch our passion on it, and it was very profitable. Mm-hmm. And so, and then after that, we just spoke every single day while we would work, just AirPods in, doing our jobs and just talking and just, what can it do? How can we get to that point? What resources do we have or have access to, to use to get us to that step?
So, like, that, like, enlightenment phase that you just described that Cody had brought into you, like, were you, like, transitioning quick? Was it like, I'm gonna just stop everything I'm doing, focus on this? Or were you like daytime job 9 to 5 and then pivot the 9? You gotta like 9 to 5, then the 5 to 9. You know what I'm saying? You gotta work. That night shift. You know what I'm saying? Like that entrepreneurial setting, because like it can be draining, but like who gonna do it? But some people be like, yeah, I was working a part-time job for 5 years before we broke profit, and now like I ain't never going back type stuff. So like that's something I can really relate to, but it was different for everybody.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was for us. We both still had our main jobs to keep that revenue and our like means of living coming in, but just plotting it, and then we finally found the opportunity and the investors and someone to pave a path for us and give us the opportunity, and ran with it. And we were still working jobs while we were even in the field doing all the work. Mm-hmm. But and we still to this day are working jobs, just to make ends meet. But we pray here pretty soon, right around the corner, it takes off and we don't got to do those other 9 to 5s. We can put all our focus into this. Yeah.
And that's the thing, the funny thing about the entrepreneurship is like, I don't want to work a 9 to 5, so I'm gonna just work 24 hours of the day. Like, they don't tell you all that. Like, I'm gonna work till I forget that I'm hungry. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's my toxic trait of myself. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But
It's not a bad trait to have.
where did y'all all meet up at? Y'all met up at Lake State?
Yes.
Is that where y'all went to school?
Yeah.
Okay.
So went up to Lake State, met Cody, and then ended up rooming together.
Basketball.
Being roommates, and then through him I met Tyler, and then that's how
Okay.
the relationship started.
Is use in sports something you guys willing to talk about, like medical use, like on a from a purely medical standpoint, like rehabilitation, not like recreational use? Because like some athletes, they pick and choose what they want to talk about. Like, is that clear all open?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
For
definitely.
sure.
That's definitely like where our product is like centered around.
Okay.
Honestly, the performance aspect of cannabis rather than the recreational enjoyment.
Mhm.
I mean, it's definitely still enjoyable, tastes amazing,
Right.
whatever. But yeah, so we grew for a cannabinoid called CBG,
Mhm.
cannabigerol, and it's becoming more popular. But I still feel like a lot of people are kind of iffy on really knowing what it does and what it can do, because people are so familiar with CBD, but CBG is considered the mother of all cannabinoids. You'll hear that a lot.
And there's like many CB,
Yeah, like hundreds.
Mhm.
Yeah, over 120 that we can test for right now.
Gotcha.
So, but CBG is the first one that the plant produces, and so it's the precursor molecule to all the other cannabinoids.
Okay.
That THC, CBD, CBN, and we feel that its benefits definitely, put it up there in the hierarchy of cannabinoids too, because it'll give you that dual benefit. And we can definitely talk more. we can definitely go a lot about that, but I don't want to go too crazy.
You know, like in college and with sports and managing like a workload and a school load, and how was that with like traveling across the state? Like, did you see any struggles, or was it like easy, like, you know, maintaining it? Was like, were you basically like eyeing you know, Hemp for Humanity from the jump, or was it kind of like basketball, you know, and, oh snap, you know, I'm gonna pivot to this? Like, was it like, did you have your own enlightenment period like during college, or
I would say,
when did yours happen?
yeah, I would say definitely, yeah, when I got to college, I definitely started learning a lot about myself.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those things, like you touched on, was learning how to focus.
Mm-hmm.
And that's still something I'm learning today, you know, because we all want to do it all.
Yeah.
And you want to make it all happen at once, but you got to learn. I think what I've learned is, like, the best way to make sure you can do a lot and get a lot of things done is to be able to be really good at doing only one thing
Mm-hmm.
at a time right now, you know? So it's like called compartmentalizing, you know? Being able to,
Oh, you should.
being able to, you know, put everything else aside and focus all your attention on one thing at that time. I definitely think that's something I learned a lot about in college with the heavy workload and still trying to get my own little business going, my own dream going. So,
Yeah, that's definitely tough, though, you know what I'm saying? Especially hooping. Mine was probably, learn more about it, like, from obviously living with him and so forth. And, you know, I had my own benefits from smoking. I didn't have knee surgery, you know, 2 knee surgeries now. And definitely through that whole, like, actual recovery process and, like, having that experience of it actually being a benefit, more so, like, I have a real injury, you know what I'm saying, instead of being my normal self, it definitely helped throughout the rehab process, like, with swelling, pain.
Did you use like rubs, topicals, or was it the traditional way? Just
both.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely attest. And doing edibles during practice didn't seem so off to me. I'm like, you know what, I ain't going for nothing. Like, and say there ain't nobody scouting me right now. Yeah. So I would like pop edibles during track practice and just notice like a different kind of like runner's high and be like, man, this is like so like not rehabilitating but habilitating. Like, I feel like I'm able to like actually run and not be just dead, because I would like give it my all and I would feel like I have more in the gas tank. And like, if we could, you know, basically like, you know, from a healing standpoint, you know, kind of weaponize it, not like in a way, but like harness it and make it accessible for people that need it.
Like,
yes,
it's clearly there.
Yeah.
So
and
why are we not doing anything?
There are people that operate, you know, at a high pace. You know, athletes are individuals that, you know, have to maintain a high rate of performance. And were there like any stigma in like your history about like introducing cannabis to like certain close ones in your family? Were they all kind of like supportive in that bit? Like, was there some hard conversations in that, like what you wanted to do, or
definitely
with any of you?
Some hard not too hard, you know, because both of my parents are pretty like aware of, you know, weed's obviously always been there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all that, but to think that their athlete's son is smoking weed, they're a little upset, you know, obviously.
Right.
But I mean, so it came with a little bit of heartbreak, I would say, you know what I'm saying? A couple tough convos, but after a while and like playing at such a level and still smoking, they're like, okay, you know,
right,
like,
making it happen.
It's clearly not, you know.
And so that boy was athlete of the week one time. Weren't you? Like, God damn, what you smoking then? Like, I want what you had. Like,
you know, so,
say, no,
and that's wild for some people to even hear, like, oh, you can play a sport at that level and be high.
Yeah.
Not saying like I did that all the time.
Right, and not saying that it is a performance enhancing drug. Like, it is not, you know, it is something to be used to medicate. But continue. Yeah. You know, disclaimer.
Yeah, I think it was kind of the same for me with my parents. It was once you could show you could work, you know, do the same, you were doing the activities while smoking. They weren't aware of it, and then once they're aware of it, they have that initial reaction where they kind of overreact or whatever, taken to their needs. But then once they become aware of, you're performing at that level, whether it's work, sports, or just the whole workload you're carrying, and you can do that and smoke, then I don't think they mind as much.
And that's how you know, like, when it's a passion, when you know, like, them hard conversations are, like, inevitable, because that's the thing. Like, we grew up with kids who, like, wouldn't, like, they couldn't dream of smoking with their parents or, like, even having that conversation. Like, talks of disownership will be brought up, like, and, like, me, like, I, like, it was always in the house, but, like, me, like, doing it as a job, like, the longevity, and then where you starting out at, you know what I'm saying? Like, typically, like, low key, or, like, right now, like, people who are getting rich are the, the license owners, people who, writing the checks, making the decisions, you know what I'm saying? And there's still, like, that gap of, like, people our age and still, like, trying to get in, and, like, this is what this platform is really about, like, still saying that, like, you can not only get into the industry, but, like, carve out your own lane, like, and it ain't, like, too gate kept, because I work, around a lot of older people but they're, like, pioneers and trailblazers who've been doing it since '08, since, it became, like, officially medical. And not, like, back then, they were like, all right, now we can do it in daylight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, now we can, like, sleep, like, half the night. You know what I'm saying? Like, and, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can, like, move the cash a little bit differently now. So, do you see any, like, ageism in this industry, or people, like, salute to you, young man type stuff? You're kind of, doing something that you really don't see too many young people doing.
Yeah, I would say you don't see too many business owners in the cannabis industry that are young, typically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then especially in our industry, it's such a young industry, like the hemp industry itself. Like, we only became able to farm in 2018, so a decade later than medical cannabis here in Michigan. But there's definitely not a lot of young people that are really knowledgeable about the hemp industry and what you can do to get yourself involved in it. Because it is that older generation that's kind of growing this industry,
Yeah.
I
And
have no idea, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just
right. And that's why we feel we have a great opportunity as young hemp entrepreneurs to really communicate the message of what this plant can do, for agriculture and our economy, to the younger generations, the people who are really going to be using it, Yeah, we definitely face that stigma too, even with cannabis still. Hemp being compared to cannabis a lot. A lot of people still don't know the difference, and now, like this year with our harvest, we're working to get it into building materials, to retrofit Ty's house. And I think that it's really important for us to get that message out and break that stigma, like, oh, no, this isn't just some stuff that can get you high. We also have an amazing plethora of uses that we can use this for, sustainable feedstocks for a lot of industries.
Yeah, so the common misconception, let's break it down right now. Like, what opportunities are present to you in hemp that people are kind of, like, getting ready for? They're, like, getting ready to wait for, legalization, but people just bunch it up, together under that one roof and
Just
regulation.
Yeah.
But so what's the difference from, a young person in your industry for hemp compared to, like, someone else in cannabis?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I feel like getting into the cannabis industry, like the marijuana cannabis, I should say, as a young person might be challenging because it would be much more competitive, and there's a lot bigger players, But I guess compared to the challenges in the hemp industry for a young entrepreneur, I would say it's just, like you said, everybody's kind of building that infrastructure right now. So we're right on the verge. So it's like you got to be willing to take some shots, take some risks to get yourself in position to be, early on in the industry and really position yourself, So I would say I don't know. I wouldn't say one is harder than the other. I'd say.
The hemp industry is definitely way underdeveloped, so that might be your largest challenge with that. But in starting, I think the hemp's way easier for most individuals, and I think it's way more of a giving community. So, like the cannabis, everyone's in it for the money. Everyone's in it for the money. There might be one or two people who's in it for that rare niche that they love and they're passionate. I'm sure a lot of them it is their passion, but most of the guys you see coming, they're from out of state, and it's just big dogs or whatever. And then with the hemp, it doesn't seem to be that as much, and everyone's working way more together, and it's a community.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
Where
say
the
like providing for
cannabis,
my family is a passion.
Yeah,
yeah, no,
exactly.
exactly. But sadly, things for most of us, individuals, we don't have the assets to go because they made it so outrageous. I mean, to even compete with that industry with the actual cannabis. So that's where the hemp, the regulations, and the requirements for the startup is nowhere near as steep as the marijuana, cannabis, and the community. I think works way more together.
Gotcha. So, um, Hemp for Humanity, there are how many different uses for hemp? And it sounds like you're like using it to like the top for housing material. Basically, like what kind of motivated you to shift gears towards that? Because I feel like I linked up with Link like last summer or something like that, and he was telling me about like someone that went to Peru to do something. I swear,
Oh
dog, I
no, he might
swear.
have been there.
No, dog, I swear you was saying like, yeah, my dog's somewhere in like South America building houses or something like that with Hempcrete, and I'm like, word, bro, because I remember if you check the text, I remember you saying like if you don't hit up so and so, and it was his number. I remember you saying that like I was gonna be a bitch, and I'm like, yeah, like I was driving over here, I'm like, damn, I guess I'm a bitch because I ain't even hit him up. Like a year later, like.
Oh shit. No,
hilarious.
yeah, I mean, we weren't doing that yet. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? But because we've been talking about it for a while, but
So
that's
I'd be
just funny
paraphrasing like a
incident.
motherfucker though. Like I could go up on stage and do some monologue, like
Yeah.
drive my tag and shit. He probably just said hit up my boy for like some him connections or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But
Hell yeah. But doing the CBG too right now though, like that's what we're selling. Like that's the product that we got out. Using that cannabinoid and all that.
Yeah.
But that's what we're doing right now. Obviously because we got a whole new field.
so you say like out here, are you selling B2B to like other businesses? Or are you out accessible to consumers like they can go into shops and
B2C to
okay.
customers.
Yep, direct to the consumer for sure.
Yeah, hit us up.
H for H.Earth.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's
And
the website. Go check it out.
all right, bet you definitely gonna send me some, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
like I said, do some overlays. But so I could walk into a dispo, and what do I gotta ask for to get an H for H product? Like flower strains, like what's on the market for consumers?
So it would be our CBGenius product, but right now we're working to get into dispensaries, and then as of right now, we're not in any dispensaries.
Okay.
But we're in the works with a few, trying to get some things through. But I think how the prices have really been dropping. That's kind of affecting us too, because us at a small scale, first year doing it, our cost of goods is a little higher than the big competitors who are just mass selling CBG. So when we go in and talk price points, ours, it's kind of hard to compete with those big people. But we have a unique, product with a unique mission. So we're trying to preach that and get it across. And it looks like we're gonna have more success with the local, because that's kind of been our mission too. But as of right now, no, we're not in any dispensaries.
Okay. So like the community impact, and like what are some like basic ways you guys have like plans to give back to the community, being H for H.
Yeah, definitely. Like that was the goal from the beginning, was to raise money to build homes in underdeveloped places and rebuild in places where it really needs it in a sustainable way. And that's definitely our goal right now. And CBGenius is our first product, right? Like we got that out of our field last year. We just did what we knew how to do. We knew how to cultivate the Sensimilla plant in that way. We knew how to extract it. We knew how to make products. And so that's what we tried to make our focus on that first year. And really try to understand outdoor agriculture, which is definitely a learning process, but there's definitely a lot of resources out there, especially for young people, to really learn that. So that's super good. But so this year we switched up to the fiber hemp, and that's what we're growing for the building material, so that we can get into that realm where we can start raising money to really put up homes, for homeless people. And so that's our number one goal. And then on top of that, other things I feel like hemp does in general for the community is it's so powerful at sequestering carbon, and it makes it a super good basis for a sustainable economy, you know. So you can definitely grow carbon negative products when you're starting out with a hemp plant because it does sequester a lot of carbon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just coming back from like the humanity part of the industry, and like building that network. In this industry, you see, you know, trade shows and stuff like that all over the state, and hemp being federally legal. Have you like seen any trade shows that you think have benefited you, and where have they been? Have they been just in the state, or you like venture out?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say NOCO, the biggest hemp festival expo in the U.S. But that one was like the first one we went to. Flew out there right as we were starting the farm for CBG, and that changed.
That changed
everything.
Perspective by a lot. We saw how many people are really in the game because there was a couple thousand people there.
Yeah, it was a big.
It was a
one.
huge event, and it's very informational. You learn a lot. But then we just recently went to the Lansing Expo.
Yep,
and that one,
Michigan.
Yep, that one was very small, nowhere near the experience of or the same experience as that. But I think we found that one to be more beneficial because we got to, at the expo in Colorado, everyone was talking. There were so many people, and they were so busy, you didn't get to go talk to them personally. And at the iHemp in Lansing, since there wasn't very many people there, after each person speak, we got to individually go up, shake their hand, meet them, and exchange information and talk about, ask further questions and stuff like that.
Yeah, Hemp Michigan. Shout out them. That's association, Industrial Hemp Association of Michigan.
That was a good time.
Yeah, Dave Crable, dope.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. But we've been to a couple of those. So just 2 so far, one in Michigan and one in Colorado.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've been to many, and the biggest one was in Vegas, and
Nice.
it was the MJ BizCon for cannabis, but it was like so big, it was overwhelming. Like there was so many like kiosks and booths and stuff like that. I had to do a lap just to like get an eye like visual. Like I didn't want to like go into the eye of a beast and not know what the beast looked like. You know what I'm saying? So first time I got there, I'm like, let me just do a lap, just take a just see how many rows there are, see how fast I gotta walk. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, when time gets lit, right. But that's the thing. Like it was like that much. I'm like, all right. Like some people just aren't getting talked to, and like that's what you miss. That like face to face connection. Be like, hey, like I'm local. I'm 2 hours this way, or I'm actually like right down the block, and it's the ones that are smaller, but you get the people who have aligned views about this industry and come from similar backgrounds, and that's cool to like really talk to, because you can talk to someone from a different industry with like different regulations, to where it's like more pay to play, to where it's like all about the money, where it's like now you don't need 6 figures, you need 7. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might need 8 actually to start, because they cap in licenses, and it is like tough out here. So, is there like a license cap in the hemp industry? Like, or is it just, how do they distribute that? Like, what was the certification like process?
You really did more.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad. They make it pretty easy. Like, there's no cap on licenses.
Okay.
It's definitely a lot of funding going out this year to encourage more licenses in our state. Because now the infrastructure to really advance, the other uses of hemp is being built around us.
Mm-hmm.
And now everybody, after the 2018 huge rise and fall of CBD, now everybody's worried about the supply end of the supply chain, whereas before it was all about there's not enough processing. Now we got processing. So it opens up a lot of doors, and that's definitely why we want to try to form a cooperative model with other farmers. That way we can really work together to build this industry up. Mm-hmm. So, we could supply equipment, the right seed, agronomy, everything for the farmer, and all benefit mutually from the contracts that we got to get,
You want to light that one up?
On the on the other end of the supply chain,
That's cool. Let's see. For a minute, I gotta think of more questions. I need the weed, bro. I swear to God, like if I gotta like he know, like if when I'm really on it, I will freestyle, but like
You just dropped that bitch.
Yeah, I dropped a little album in February.
Dropped an album.
I did drop an album in February.
What's up, bro. That's awesome.
Gotta have the creative outlets, you know what I'm saying? I gotta pop my shit, and that's like, like I don't know, like just growing up, you know, in Grand Ledge, like I low key like felt more like the dude from Get Out than not, like a shell of myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, man, like, I want to low key wallow on these white people. Like these people like are going crazy right now, but I can go crazy. like so I'm just like, man, like fuck all this shit. So I don't know, just like a real outlet to really speak. I was always told like, you know, don't do this, don't say that, don't, you know, you'll get in trouble if you say this. So like
Bro,
having
like
a platform.
You're saying about those parents are smoking weed, getting high now. You know what I'm
Absolutely, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And you never, and that's the thing. They want what you smoking because you know they know it's probably good. Like it's I don't know, man. Shit.
Yeah.
Now it's like they want to like
Everyone's seeing the benefits though. You know, like
everybody's seeing the benefits for themselves. Like let's talk about it. I've been approached by like parents that be like, "Hey, I don't smoke, but I got money to invest," and I'm like,
yeah.
shit, and that's where I'm like, damn, I need to get on my grind because if I was in a better place, I'd be like, invest in me. Like we about to get this money. Like you know what I'm saying? So to just think, we basically thought about what we was gonna do when we grew up, and then just started doing it. At one point, like I'm like the hardest critic on myself. I swear to God, like man, I wish I should have did this or it literally, and it's always at like 2-3 a.m. when I'm like literally going to bed because I didn't work all damn day. I didn't push it. I'm like, damn, I didn't do all this, but like low key, like 16, like 17-year-old me would be like so proud of myself. I'd be lit as fuck right now, like doing everything I'm doing right now, like chilling and like, hey,
Exactly,
just
that's what it's all about.
yeah, for sure. But let's say H for H.
Hemp for humanity.
Yeah.
What's
CBGenius.
Get that CBGenius, bro. It's good for aches and pains, swelling, all that.
Yeah, it has been amazing seeing the feedback.
Yeah, because
with the
we've
product.
been, you know, like the events that we've been doing, we just did a 5K, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, trying to target people that are active, you know, especially that older demographic.
Yeah.
They can really see the benefits from it, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, now that stigma's dropping.
You said the older demographic?
Well, like the people trying to get into some weed but not wanting to get high. You
Right.
know?
They don't want to
You're not about to. There's 0.03%. You know, you're not gonna get high.
And that's you know like the where you gotta like budge for people. And for me, it's like I didn't have my eras of like, you know, the college days where I'm like, hey bro, come over, I'm gonna give you a small dab, and I give them a fucking like snot rocket booger, and I drop that bitch in a banger, and I be having people on their backs and shit, like fucking calling for their moms and shit, and then I've been on the ends like, hey bro, just try this 2.5 milligram gummy, like it got, you know. It is barely psychoactive, and I know your psycho ass gonna get active, so chill. Like, right, like dog, some people do. Yeah. And then like to be able to like have to see the edible game be like, all right, now this is like a 20-1, you know, CBD to THC, to where it's like this is gonna mellow you out. And for me, like I think I grew up calling it like diet weed, but really like actually used it and applied it. And I'm like, man, like I'm not high, but I ain't stressed out either. This is fucking great, and I ain't tired. Like it's just funny. Like I'd rather sit like and watch a movie. And like that's the thing. Like I smoke, watch a movie. I ain't getting through that movie. You know, it's CBD, CBG, straight. I'm laughing through that motherfucker. I might make a TikTok commentate on that hoe. Like I don't know. But
hell yeah.
Social media, where can we find H for H?
H4H.earth. We wanted to keep it real simple for y'all.
Yep, H4H.earth on all our domains, our website, Facebook, Instagram.
Yep.
Y'all ever gonna get to a point where like, you know, they be 3D printing houses? Like, is that like something that's possible? Like, with sustainable crete?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Right now, there's really not the machinery that's, you know, built to the specs of sprayable hempcrete. But there are 4 methods. There's the cast in place, where you build a timber frame or whatever frame you want to build out of, and you pour into the molds and tamp it down all by hand. And that's probably the easiest way for everyday people to, you know, build their own structures and do that. But then there's the spray applied, which is done with really only one sprayer right now in the U.S.
They be out there spraying a whole crib.
Yep, and then so they
damn near 3D printing it.
Yeah, exactly. So they would just spray into the casted mold, And then really what everything is moving to as the infrastructure becomes more spread out is the prefabricated panels. And I think that's really where the industry is going, because then you can control the drying and setting time of the walls, ship them to the place, put them up in 2 weeks, and you have, a full home. But we're waiting for more processing to reduce the shipping on that. And then I didn't mention, what was the other one?
So it's just the prefab, which you just mentioned, packing hand, and then the sprayer.
Bricks. Yep. And then bricks.
Because you mentioned something like a nano fiber, did you mention that earlier, or am I just high?
Oh, no, I said we're growing fiber hemp.
Fiber hemp, that's what it was. So,
Yeah,
you tell me, a little bit about that, and what's innovative with that?
Yeah, so that's it's basically the cousin of the, marijuana plant that we all know. So you would plant it in much denser spacing, so much higher populations, and that'll force it to grow really tall, and it's actually the most abundant cellulose producing crop that's known, today. So you can take the fiber off of it, and then you're left with the hurd, which is what you can use for the animal bedding, the building materials, and you can also make plastics out of that with enough processing. And then the fiber can be used for other industries like textiles, rope, and stuff like that. So that's the type of hemp that we're growing this year in hopes to harvest enough hurd to do Ty's house to really show it off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's super dope. So Ty's house is about to be the prototype of what y'all can do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that's kind of included in my next question without giving out the sauce. It was gonna be what's next for H4H. So
yeah.
That.
Yeah, as of right now, that's what's next for us, because we did the CBG last year, and now we're doing the industrial fiber and trying to turn it into the retail product on that end, because we grew the cannabinoid and then found a retail product for that, and then now we're trying to, we have many retail products we want to do with the industrial fiber, but this is the first one. Mm-hmm. And where it seems the industry's best set up for.
Plenty of CBG for sale.
and who is that too? Who is that? Who are you telling? You telling everybody?
I'm telling everybody out there that they need to get a bottle, because they need to, because when they take it, they understand why they need it.
Yeah.
And then get back with us, because all the testimonials have been great. And I mean, why not? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you're out here trying CBD and all this, all the other stuff, it's the same type of deal we got going on.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
Healthier, maybe.
All natural, organic.
All natural,
Mm-hmm.
organic, our
Vegan.
formula, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Grew it ourselves. Put the hand, sweat, and tears in it like you're talking working 24/7.
Hey, man, it's tough. That's the thing, man. I was talking to somebody about daylight savings time, because somebody was saying they lobbying to get rid of daylight savings. Nah, I'm straight. And I was thinking, I'm well, somebody at the lobby to get daylight savings in the first place, because somebody made money from that shit somehow, some way. And they said they did it for farming, but cows don't tell time. Them niggas just wake up. They don't know. Oh shit, it's nah, never mind. I forgot to set my clock back. That's us. I don't I don't know.
The story and whatever, how that happened.
I don't know either, but I've always questioned that. I don't.
Well, my question was just Arizona. I was just how come they don't do it? Why is they exempt?
Yeah, no.
That's it's proven fact to me that time is man-made. Time is a man-made construct, and they just telling us to believe it.
That shit wild. I mean, time's definitely going though.
We ain't getting young. We ain't getting younger. You know what I'm saying? We all dying. We all are rotten at some point. We all are just slowly rotting away. So we might as well just live it up. You know what I'm saying?
That shit's wild.
I mean, just.
Crazy. That's why we out here just living right now. You know what I'm saying? The sun done went down. Still out here doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but any last words? Any shout outs you want to get out to the people?
Shout out everybody that's been supporting H4H for sure. Thank you for everything and all the testimonials and everyone who's really help. They know who they are, you know what I'm
Get
saying?
out the
People
way.
like
Show
that,
the H
so.
for H.
Yeah, we had a bunch of friends come out and help.
And
Shout
you
out to all
know
the
what I'm
friends.
saying? For letting us on
Yes,
here.
sir.
Man, I
Been a
had to
good
pull up.
long minute.
I had
Good
to pull
see
up.
you, man. Good to see you doing your thing.
It was crazy. Like, and that's the thing. I'm like super happy to see young people in this industry. My main focus, like I said, is like giving young people the knowledge, the power, and to like negotiate. Because I didn't see so many talented, passionate young minds get fucked over by like big companies in this industry that just trying to make a profit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to be no pawn in nobody's chess game. Like, and so I didn't make the pieces in this motherfucker. So like, it ain't like that. And just giving creative feedback and business expertise. So what did we think of the stuff? What did you roll up, Ty? Like, what did you?
The
H-rate
The
special.
Caesar, and then the other one was the Legends of Nigeria.
Shout out H for H. Shout out H for H.
Yeah, no, it's the Caesar and the Legends of Nigeria. They're nice. The Legends
yeah.
tasted, I think, a little better.
Yeah, I mean y'all guys ever been to Legends?
I haven't.
Oh man, you gotta go to Legends.
Okay.
Pull up on me. We'll take a nice little Uber to Legends.
For sure.
So check it out. Always.
Oh shit.